Over the years, South Africa has become a fertile ground for independent, charismatic churches promising instant wealth and, in some cases, healing using bizarre methods. But that could be soon a thing of the past. Last week, the Commission for the Promotion and Protection of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities announced that it will launch an investigation into some of these practices and the reasoning behind it. The Commission will also look at the commercialization of religion and what it called the abuse and exploitation of people's belief. In light of recent events, there's been growing concerns about the lack of accountability, with many calling for these types of churches to now be regulated. Now, from the Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Commission, we are joined this morning by the Deputy Chairperson, Professor David Mosoma. Very good morning to you, Professor. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to you.
Interesting, the developments now. Just tell us what you are thinking and why you've decided to make this call.
We have decided to make this call because of so many complaints that we have received from groups, individuals in society. This has been going on for some time, but until we face this barrage of concerns, we felt, as part of our mandate, which is to really promote and protect the rights of religious, cultural and linguistic communities, it is important to identify what are the things, the values that we need to protect and promote. So it's not a wholesale thing. So as part of that mandate, and also commensurate with the problems that we receive from communities, we decided it is important to institute an investigation which will issue out a new understanding of these phenomena. For instance, the commercialization of religion. It has become a sore point because many in the name of religion actually sell profanalias, sometimes water,
honey,
whatever the case may be, and say, if you take this, it will heal you. Sometimes they even encourage people to leave medication, like HIV persons, to leave medication and say, if you drink this water, you know, HIV and AIDS will disappear. So we believe that these are, in essence, are not assisting in national building and social cohesion, which is the mandate which we are embarked on. So we want to look at this particular phenomenon. What are the causes of this phenomenon? Identify those causes. Why is it that our people, societal thinking our people, are so gullible and vulnerable in buying into these schemes, these shoddy schemes? And we want also to make sure that some of these funding coming from these institutions, where do they go to? Are they taxable? Are they used to assist society, and so forth and so forth? Just yesterday in the Sunday papers, a story of a pastor who said, listen, if you give 1,000 rand, you know, I will be able to consult you. Until you put that, I can't consult with you. But if you put 400,000 rand, you know, I'll do A, B, C, D. But in some instances, they actually say, once you have paid the money and nothing has happened, you go back to them and say, no, it's because you have not done it well. Go and do it again, but nothing happens.
It's quite a wide question, the question of finance within the church. How do you intend to look at it, and will you include all churches in it, or is it only the sort of, call it New World charismatic churches that you're looking at?
It's a comprehensive study. We are not excluding anyone. Anybody should be in the net. Because this, the Bureau for Market Research at the University of South Africa, it's a very credible institution, and it has got the footprint in the whole South Africa. So they will be able to sample and be able to understand precisely what it is that we want, because we have set up a concept paper which identifies areas of focus, so that they will be looking at those areas of focus. And we hope that issues of funding is very critical. Some of the funding may be used or channeled to, you know, fuel or even assist terrorism in some respect. So we want to find out what is actually happening. Why all of a sudden today you are poor, tomorrow you are rich? Where do you get this money? So we want accountability. Is there a system of governance in your churches, in your traditional independence environment. Because we're not only looking at churches, it's across the board. Our mandate is across the board. Rastafarians, Islamic, Jewish, everybody. We look into this particular phenomenon called religion, how it functions.
I want to take you to a concerning matter that's arisen now in recent times also. We see the levels of what we would call witchcraft, and over the weekend we've had a young albino woman in KwaZulu-Natal that was murdered and cut up for muti purposes and so forth. Are you going to look at these kinds of practice under the guise of church as well?
We are going to look at those under the guise of traditional healing medicine, because these also are the people that we look after as part of the commission. And that concern is very critical, because if you kill somebody and skin the person and use these parts for medicine, what does it mean? In other words, you are making money. You are commercializing also. So we want to look at this. What is the phenomena? Because our understanding of the African medicine is that you use medicine for healing, assisting people, not to kill people. Because if you kill, you then undermine the very value of that medicine that you use. So there's a contradiction in terms there.
Do you think, let me restart that again, there'll always be a place for the church in society because it is the preferred way that we worship. But is it, in your view, is it time to review the role of the church in society and the way that it is applied today?
I don't think we are going to look at the role of the church and how it functions today. There's always a role, but the role is to promote values, values of life, values that are cohesive, values that promote synergy, promote peace, harmony, and friendship. That is the role of the church. Because the role of the church is to create a new community of people with new understanding, with a new relationship. Those are the things that we want to see the church doing.
It's certainly a very big scope of work that you're looking at, and it might take you quite some time, I would think, to come up with a report. But when are you hopeful to have a report ready?
The report will be ready in April next year, almost 8 months. And once the report is ready, we'll share with the nation.
I hope that we'll be able to get the occasional update until that time, because this is a matter that affects so many South Africans, and it's something that we are all so very passionate about.
We'll try our utmost to do
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Professor David Mosoma, who is from the Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Commission. We're talking about, well, the regulation of church business here in South Africa. Your views, you can send it to us, of course, at SABC Newsroom now.